Hey, watch out, the Pittman Group, live streaming. We are live, gentlemen. We are live.
Oh, thank you, Randall. Welcome back again. Peter Mario, Chief Marketing Officer with the Pittman Group, here with Monty Shai, Vice President of Marketing with the Pittman Group. And Monty, it's been a crazy little week for us here.
Yeah.
You know, got Sean out of town traveling. I was traveling earlier in the week. Had a little bit of an adventure. You got back from traveling last week, and you've been hanging out here. But we've got a couple of basketball tournaments around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been crazy. Yeah, just like Wacky Friday here at the Pittman Group. It's wacky in the NCAA all the way around and stuff. But we got some exciting stuff we're going to be talking about today. And I think a little bit of lead nurturing and SMS messaging down the road and that end.
And we talked a little bit at the end of last week's live stream about a process for doing video optimization. Mm-hmm. And I want to lead in with that today. As we begin our discussion, before we get to lead nurturing and SMS messaging, because video plays such a huge part in both of those. You want to get as much leverage out of your videos as you possibly can, so that's where optimization comes in. So, with that said, crazy week.
Yeah.
I went down to a conference in Las Vegas. Spent 2 days intensely learning about new pay-per-click strategies, new display strategies, new Facebook strategies. So really excited about that and what we're going to be able to bring to the table with our clients. Still disseminating the notes from that. Yeah. Let's kind of roll into the video process, which I've got it up here, and we follow. On average, I think it's a 14-step process. Really involved. Mm-hmm. Randall has done it many, many times.
So what do you, when you're talking about video, Pete, when you're working with a school, college, university, you mentioned the steps and stuff, and I mean, I'm assuming you go out and shoot at the school itself, get some live shots there and incorporate into the video.
Or we take some video that they had, incorporate it in. We could do a lot of things with B-roll. We can do a lot of things with animation. We can do a lot of things with stop motion. It all depends on the client's needs. And one of the things that we try and work with our clients on is making video inexpensive. We've talked about it in a couple of live streams now, and we're live streaming here, but all the power you need to, shoot video is sitting in your pocket with your iPhone right now. And so many people think that the process of conceptualizing a video and shooting a video and editing a video is so hard and so expensive that they just ignore it. And, the expense part of it, I hate to say it doesn't need to be expensive. People make it expensive. They go these over-the-top productions. They hire crews with 6K cameras. We just got a bunch of footage from one of our clients that had a previous crew had 6K footage, right?
Yeah, they sent it all over to us in raw red format to work with, and I'm like, this is great. More than necessary. Yeah,
and you needed probably 3 of your iMacs over there to process it.
Yes.
It literally took, what, 2 days for it to download?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And then we had to render it out into something that we could actually just preview to see if we could even use any of it for the client. And it ended up, it took 2 days. Hard drives. Yeah, it was an interesting process.
Now, just to kind of put this in perspective, the only place that's really capable of showing 6K footage is your local cinema, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, televisions, for the most part, still 1080p. Yeah, there's 4Ks being sold right now, but most stations broadcast in 1080.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There are very few 4K broadcasting stations. So shooting in 6K, that's a little overkill.
Definitely overkill. Overkill.
But, and that's what adds up, because a red camera, he's talking about red format. Red camera for 6K is about $40,000 or $50,000.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And that's before you get into the lenses.
And that's not including the editing equipment.
No.
That's just the camera.
Yeah, and when you talk about editing 6K footage, you're talking about buying $10,000 computers just to handle it. So yeah, it gets expensive if you hire the wrong people, if you go with the wrong concept. And that's why strategy behind video is so important. And once you've shot those videos, getting them up on YouTube, getting them optimized, getting them on video and Vimeo and optimized, or whatever service you're using is super important. You want to get the most leverage out of it. The idea of shooting just for the 30-second commercial concept anymore, I think is really dead.
Yeah.
Yes, you can get known out there, but it's more of the raw, live, real life type video that's really playing well with the audiences right now.
Search video, 80% will be search videos next year or two?
Yep. And I think that Mark Zuckerberg made a statement that by 2019, he anticipates that 85% of content served on Facebook is going to be video. Well, he doesn't make a statement like that unless they have a plan. YouTube, already second largest search engine in the world. You have, to your point, search traffic. 80% of time online right now is spent watching video. And all the metrics around how often people watch video, how many videos they watch, how far into videos they get versus how far into blog articles, it's amazing. I think, formats like Twitter, like Facebook have conditioned us to read in little tiny snippets. But we still are able to consume a lot visually with video, and also you have the audio part of it as well. So you don't necessarily need to be staying full attention on the screen. You can be listening to it in your headphones. You can be listening at your speaker in your office, whatever. So
you mentioned the steps.
Yeah.
On video and stuff. You might want to
Sure.
walk through.
Sure, and we'll go through these really quickly. The main premise of this is going to be optimizing around keywords.
Right.
The fact of the matter is at its root, all search engines are trying to figure out, based on the words you put in there, what your piece of content is about, and they have many, many different areas that they look at for keywords. So we need to start with a list of keywords for every video we create. And what we typically recommend is you start with like one primary keyword. You get 3 secondary keywords, about 6 other keywords that are relevant to your video. Now, you can't just randomly choose keywords.
Right.
You can't, if you've got a video about, let's say, medical assisting, you can't just suddenly go out and decide, I'm going to go get a whole bunch of, trade students with it.
Right.
No, the keywords have to be focused on the medical assisting.
Makes sense.
But also in this day and age of social media, we recommend that while you're doing this keyword tracking, you start to look at some hashtags that are trending in Twitter, in Facebook. LinkedIn hashtags are really starting to become more popular on LinkedIn even. But finding those trending hashtags so that you can work those into your plan as well. Now, once you've got those hashtags, we have to start working those keywords in several places. And the first place really to work it in is actually in the file properties of the video. So, and Randall has learned this the hard way. Because he had to struggle with this a little bit, but there's metadata saved in all of our files.
Yep.
So there's things like a title, a subtitle. You can rate it. You can put tags and you can put comments in your files. Those are all metadata that the search engines are able to read. Now, most people don't ever see that, but the search engines do, and that's really important. So you got to work those keywords into there. The next area after that is, when you upload your video to YouTube. Mm-hmm. All right. After you've optimized the file properties, you have to upload it to YouTube, and that's where, there's a lot of work that needs to go on YouTube itself. So you upload the video to YouTube, then you start working through all of their individual steps to optimize the video. So looking down my list here, the first thing you got to do, add the correct title and add a good description. Too often, you go out on YouTube and you'll see one of these videos where it's just like the file name .mov. Have you ever run across that?
Yep. Oh yeah.
That's somebody not taking the time to actually change the file name. Descriptions. They give you a lot of room for descriptions, and we recommend anywhere from 200 to 400 words in your description, and you have to make it sound natural. Some of the things that do work pretty well are links out to more resources, bullet lists. But writing a 200 word to 400 word description is really necessary to even get considered for ranking. Now, within that too, you can take the time to add in information about your company, about your brand, links back to resources. If you are, let's say, selling products, you can put links out to your affiliate links. You can put links out to the e-commerce site. If you're a school, put links to the program pages that you're considering within your descriptions. Those are all going to help you. And you can, during this process, you should make sure all these links are trackable, because you want to see how much traffic is actually coming from YouTube rather than just coming organically from a search engine. The next thing is add tags. And if you'll notice, within YouTube, there's a section for tags. And you can add pretty much whatever tag you want to down there. Just type it, hit enter. But it's very important that in the tags you incorporate all of your keywords, but also you want to incorporate keywords surrounding your business, your school, your e-commerce company, your brick and mortar store, whatever it is, whatever your company is. Make sure you include keywords around that as well, on top of what the actual video is about.
Pete, I got some tips on that too. We figured out whenever we were trying to find keywords sometimes for some of our clients on their videos, that if you do a search, what you think somebody be searching for on YouTube, and as you start searching it, it starts to auto-populate.
Yep.
Take some of those, because those are obviously key things that people have been searching for that Google's put up there for you to find. So those are some great keyword opportunities too.
Yeah, and the way I understand it, and you obviously work in it every day, but the way I understand it is that search bar, the auto-completes go in order of how many searches there are for it.
Yeah.
Which, if you've got something like medical assisting video, if you're talking about a medical assisting training video, something like that, start typing medical assisting, and then you're going to see a list of 10 words that are the top-rated, top search terms.
Yeah, and those would be some great opportunities to throw in as your tags.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Great tip there. So next tip, and this is something that I see more and more people actually taking advantage of, but not so much on the school side where we work, but those are custom thumbnails. So YouTube allows you to design your own custom thumbnails, and within that, you get to choose the image you want to show, you get to choose the title, the colors, make it really stand out. Otherwise, Google's just going to give you like 3 options of still captures within your video, which may or may not really be what you're looking for. So taking the time to design that, and if you are posting regularly, you should have a template for it. You should have a template, and then be able to take a screen capture, or better yet, take some still photos while you're shooting your video, so that they're higher quality, higher resolution, to create that custom thumbnail. And that really helps people stand out. Now, once again, tricks with that, on the custom thumbnail, make sure you're taking full advantage of the metadata that you can put into the file. But also make sure that the image and the title on the image matches the title of your video. So, and then finally, once you get that done, here's something a lot of people miss. Randall?
What?
make sure you watch the video back.
Yes, absolutely. After it's uploaded.
And why is that?
After it's uploaded. Well,
A lot of reasons.
Do you want to tell the story or shall I?
You can. Go for it.
I can tell a story. So, one of the first videos that we had done in the Marketing Pit Stop series, Randall had done a great job editing it, putting music to it, putting all of these graphics and cutaways and stuff into the video, and he went and rendered it. Well, he didn't watch it after he rendered it. He figured it would render properly. Never doesn't render properly, right?
Technology is supposed to do what technology does, right?
Yeah. So Randall goes through all of these steps, put all this information in there, and about an hour later, I'm calling Randall. I'm like, Randall, where are all the graphics? Randall, how come there's no sound on our B-roll?
Yep.
And Randall's like, what? So
had to go re-render.
So yeah, Randall learned his lesson that day. That was many, many months ago. So we're not going to give him too much crap about it. But
nice.
it's a step that we take for granted too often, is not doing that extra QA check. And take the extra 10 minutes to watch through it. And if you have to re-render the video, or if you see something within the video, try and watch it from your audience's point of view, rather than watching it from the point of view of the person that created it.
Yeah.
Because it's a totally different vision. And, at times, get somebody else to come into the room.
Yeah. Or send the link to somebody to preview it, because that's the thing, is like when you're creating these videos, a lot of times you're just in it so much that you lose sight of what's what to some extent, and then you're just you miss the little things. So.
Well, and I think one of the things, though, that I run into a lot, especially with people starting out on video, is they're uncomfortable being on video.
Yeah. They're
uncomfortable with the concept that it's their face, their words.
Yeah.
They don't view themselves as somebody else might, and a lot of times they're actually afraid to go and get a second opinion. They're kind of like, let's just get this out there.
Yeah.
And then they'll never watch it again because they don't want to see themselves.
Yeah.
That leads to really crappy videos.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. You've got to go through and critique it, and you have to have other people critique it as well. Even the stuff that is raw and live has to be critiqued. I mean, we'll sit down after this, Randall and I, and we'll go through what we could do better this time, or the next time. What subjects could we have done better? When was I using more audible pauses than I should have? Where am I looking? Am I looking at you? Am I looking at him? Am I looking at the camera, the audience? All of that stuff comes into play.
For example, I was going to point out, you did a really good job, and I was going to throw this in afterwards, but I'll throw it in now. You did a really good job with that specific product placement right there, the for QT, our sponsor. When you set that out, I thought you just did a great job of how you spun the cup around with the logo facing at the camera and all of that. Just for the record, QT is not our sponsor, but if they'd like to be.
If they would like to be, we're more than
Send
happy.
us a message on our website.
Yes, we're more than happy to allow them to sponsor our marketing.
Good point there, Randall.
That's something I never take into account is, sponsor stuff. Randall did a great job saying that they are not a sponsor, because we could get in trouble for me not paying attention to which way I set the cup down.
Get the clear hair blue.
Yep.
The blue.
I've got my unbranded silver cup.
There you go.
Water.
I just happened to have to stop for gas this morning, and I got a Quick Trip cup. So I'm on my second cup of coffee today.
Nice.
I just refilled this.
A nice little
Save the landfills.
You'll be bouncing off the walls here in a little bit.
Save the landfills. So, cool. And we went through this video optimization. I know you wanted to speak a little bit today also about lead nurturing as well as SMS. And
let me make a point, though, of the video. And so here at the Pittman Group, make sure you take advantage of video. Whether you're a small business, a large business, you're a university, you're a college, start looking into it if you're not doing anything with it to help promote your business, more traffic, and it'll be a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. Well, and the reason we say that, because a lot of what we're talking about with nurturing with SMS is going to rely on video.
Absolutely, yeah.
In this day and age, I hate to say it, people are getting less and less likely to read something.
Oh, yeah. I'm one of those.
Oh yeah. Well, and I talked about a little bit about it in the beginning. We're conditioned now with Twitter, with Facebook, with LinkedIn to read in snippets. Yeah. And we've all become to some extent speed readers, where we're getting the basic gist of something. Well, that's usually not enough, for us to quench our curiosity or get all the information we need, and that's where video comes in. One of the things that I spent a lot of time talking about this week is video in terms of, how we're doing it on Facebook. Some of the things that are working on Facebook, not working. Some of the upcoming trends in video, and specifically with Amazon. Amazon has now made it available to many people on their marketplace to upload videos as part of their feed. That has never happened before. Now, they haven't opened it up to everybody. I think they're afraid of what's going to happen when they do, because people are going to flood them with video. Because think about it. Do you ever want to go out and buy something without first seeing it in...
Good point.
Yeah. So it's the same thing with school. And there's a lot of ways that we can utilize video to push people along the funnel. And we showed some of the personalized video that in our first live broadcast in this series, the one-to-one video. You send a lot of those video emails out.
Oh yeah.
And want to talk a little bit about your results with those as a nurturing tactic?
Yeah. So when we kicked off our video email, I sent out maybe on the first 50 to 70 of them. Opted in and actually viewed it was about a 45 to 40% rate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge.
And those are unsolicited. Correct. At this point in time.
Yeah.
You're doing cold emails out to people and introducing yourself and getting a 45% watch rate.
Yeah.
Not just open rate, people watched.
Yeah.
That's crazy, because cold email as a whole, I mean, we're looking at, Randall, you probably know this stat better than I do, about 15-17% open rate on cold email.
Yeah, that would be, absolutely. I mean, that's pushing it though sometimes. I mean, sometimes you're not even getting that. So.
Well, and then talk about the open rate, but also the opt-out rates.
Oh, goodness.
Where, it's really high when you're doing cold email and it's even text, HTML, opt-out rates on that are super high. But with the email, I mean, video email, you're not seeing that either.
Right.
We're not seeing those high opt-out rates. We're giving somebody something of value.
Yeah. And with that, as people view those, it's a good discussion when you reach back out to them to follow up with them. Hey, I noticed that you went on the video, looked at it, I want to see what your thoughts were, and start building that relationship with a client, or it can be a win-win on that and stuff. So that
fantastic. But that's one way to nurture people, and people don't think necessarily about that being a nurturing tactic.
Yeah.
But when a lead comes in, if the first contact they have with you is a video email with a list of links to information about your services, they're going to be more likely to pick up the phone. First off, psychologically speaking, there have been studies done on this where people are more likely to respond to people that they know visually than audibly. There's this sense that they're reciprocating at that point in time.
Yeah. So I had a scenario. Today's Friday. Okay, on was it yesterday? I believe yesterday morning, I called a school, connected with the VP of marketing, and she said, "Okay, we'll send out some information, whatever." I said, "You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a video email, kind of what we're talking about." So I sent that to her. Within 5 minutes, she viewed it.
Yeah.
So starting to already build that relationship with them. This just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
With them and stuff. So, and then as we continue to nurture that, you never know.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's great for smaller batches of leads. If they're coming in, hey, let's say they're coming in one every 5 minutes, you got leads. And, I think some of our schools would be like loving us to death if they got a lead every 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, in some higher volume businesses, they could be getting leads every 5 minutes. And, you know, depending upon the size team you have, it's more than doable to put out a 15-second, hey, how are you doing? This is so-and-so with this company. Thank you for your request. I'm going to give you some information down below, and we'll give you a call here in the next day or so to follow up on any questions you have. That is a lot more powerful than you just pick up the phone and it rings 5 times before it goes to voicemail because they didn't want to be interrupted at that point in time. And then what I see a lot of schools do is just compound the exasperation on the lead side because they'll call back the next hour and then the next hour and then the next hour. And then they might stop for half a day and then they'll start pounding them again. I've seen up to 8 or 9 calls. Excuse me. I had to sneeze. Live TV, guys.
Yeah.
There
I
you
missed
go.
the mute button there. I apologize.
That's all right. But I've seen people call 7 to 8 times in the first 2 days.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of up to stalkerish girlfriend
Borderline
level.
harassment.
Borderline. But I'm not saying that it's wrong. It has worked in the past.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work as well now. And I joke about that, but it is a lot more powerful though to give somebody pieces of information and have them reciprocate by picking up the phone.
Yeah.
Now, when we start talking about larger amounts of people that we have to reach at one point, that's where the more personalized video comes in, where you have one video and you're personalizing it with pieces of information about them, their name, their email address, their company, whatever it is, something that you've learned about them. You can all customize that out of your CRM database, and everybody gets their own unique video. Now, the great part about that is it's not, at that point in time, it's not just about that one person getting a unique video. They're going to share that out.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you have some of the younger kids. And we work with a combination of for-profit schools as well as not-for-profit, 4 years, 2 years, trade, so on and so forth. But if you're doing undergrad enrollments, this is an awesome tool.
Yeah.
Kids, I say the kids, but they are kids to me.
Oh, yeah.
The kids eat it up.
Yeah. The importance of them. They feel important.
They feel important, and it's like, I think it's sort of like a magic trick to people. They've seen it, so they might have seen it so many times, but it's still that wonder.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It also shows that you took the time. You put together a video that walks them through maybe the halls of your dorm, the halls of a classroom, lets them sit down in a seat as a professor's doing something. That allows that person to really picture themselves there.
Yeah, makes sense.
And it allows you to kind of welcome. So from a nurturing standpoint, video can be powerful along the way. Also, we have to sell too with video, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's where, getting calls to action in all your videos comes in. Also, you can do more commercial type videos, but you got to be careful when you send those out. Right. If you've got an enrollment coming up in 1 month and you've got a lead in the funnel for 4 months, it's okay to send them a video saying, hey, enrollment's coming up. Check out all the great stuff we've got here at
success stories and what we have.
Success stories, personal testimonials and stuff. Send that out through a text blast. Send that out through an email blast.
Right.
Those are the types of things that really capture people's attention. Nobody really likes getting junk mail anymore, right?
Yeah.
Who reads it? But if you get like a really nice piece of mail, something that stands out from what everybody else is doing, you're gonna open it.
Yeah.
And that's what video email, video text messaging does. They don't get this every day.
No, it makes sense. Yeah. The opt-in rate for texting, what, 98, 99%?
Well, the open rate.
Yeah.
The open rate for texting is 98% of texts will be opened. 90% will be opened in the first 3 minutes. Now, that 2% that don't open it, I don't know what they're doing because I know I hate having little numbers show up icon saying I got unopened text.
They're at work. You're not supposed to read your phone while you're at work. I mean, come on, give them a break.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah, younger generation, they're gonna open it, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and, you know, and there's more ways that you can nurture your leads with video, and automate some of the process too. You know, social is becoming a bigger and bigger way to reach your audience. There are tools now where you can find, you know, that potential lead on social, and you know, either direct message them, post on their wall, something like that. Now, I don't want to be creepy. You got to build the relationship first. However, once you do, don't feel uncomfortable with it, because that's the way they communicate.
Yeah.
You know, I know my daughter, for instance, has entire conversations with people through Instagram. Somebody posts a picture, and the conversation could be nothing about the picture. It's just that group of friends are now commenting on something, and the conversation goes wherever it will. That's the way they communicate nowadays.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Even when it comes to text messaging is becoming, you know, even second tier to a Snapchat, to an Instagram, to, you know, a Twitter DM, to Facebook Messenger. Not saying that it's ever going to completely lose out, but there are other channels that they're communicating on that we have to take into account when we're building our nurturing strategy.
A lot of good information.
Thanks.
You know?
Thanks, Monty.
On that and stuff, but hopefully, like I said, some businesses look at it and change their strategy on how they market and go forward and be successful.
From my standpoint, I just want to show people that, one, video is powerful, and it's a great way to communicate. Two, it doesn't need to cost you $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a video. It can cost you the cost of the camera and the lights one time, and then split that up over how many videos you do. But
inexpensive.
It can be extremely inexpensive, and a lot of times video is about time.
Yeah.
And you know, bottleneck a lot of times is editing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where we find the hardest part.
Yeah, and you know, here's the other thing I would throw out about that too. You know, we're talking about just getting out there and kind of making video, and I think I've seen some people kind of go the wrong way with it, and they just make video with no intention, no strategy or anything. I'm not saying you necessarily have to have a strategy for everything, but being intentional about it, like have a reason and a purpose behind what you're creating, rather than just capturing video to capture video because, hey, the Pittman group told us to, you know, and I feel like that's kind of what happens too. And so, you know, go out there and make the videos, and the editing part's, you know, a bit of a bottleneck sometimes, but you don't have to go, overboard with that. It can be simple. It can be the one cut, you know, again, you know, with your phones anymore, you can capture stuff, and you know, that's what we're putting on a lot of our social networks now. So
well, you can video, you can edit right in the phone. You can put titles on it. You can put you know, music overlays. There's all kinds of stuff you can do right within the phone. It doesn't need to be a bottleneck. And one of the things that we're doing with live video, this is intentional, not because it's just, you know, a really great method of communicating right now, but because it cuts down on the amount of, you know, post-production time.
Yeah, we put out like 2 or 3 videos in the last 3 weeks, and I've spent no time editing. I mean, literally, it's just been we're done. You know, when we go off the air here, the video's ready and it's out there for everybody to see.
And you know, there's setup time on the front side to get lower thirds done, to get overlays done. If we are doing a presentation, make sure the presentation's in the right place. But it's time. It's not like we're spending thousands upon thousands of dollars. Now, if I wanted to bring in, let's say, Will Smith, somebody like that.
Yeah. Is he going to be on the show next week? Was that when we had him coming in? Or
I think so. I think so. From his Suicide Squad days.
Yeah.
We're going to do the
Not
bald
the Men in
Will
Black?
Smith.
Come on, Men in Black.
No, Suicide Squad.
I like that. Nice.
All right.
Nice.
But, it does not need to be expensive, and that's what I want people to take away from this. And I want them to feel comfortable using it more and more in their marketing and advertising. And one of the things that we're really working towards on our end is more of a retainer model with social media posting, nurturing, and video, where we're producing all the content for placing the media and
Nice, yeah.
and managing that aspect of the business. So we're putting our skin in the game in order to make sure that video becomes a part of more people's marketing.
Yep. Makes sense, Pete. Yeah, love it.
Great. Well, thanks everybody for joining. Once again, it's Peter
Thank
Mario, Monty Shy, and behind the booth is Randall Benson, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.